Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. It is once again time to talk about games, news, and whatever the hell else is up with us. It's me, John. I'm here. And with me this week is Elvie. Elvie, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm good.
Glad to hear it. Do you have any updates? You do anything fun lately?
Non-game related, you mean? Is that what you're asking?
I mean, yeah.
It's like, oh, you're asking about you're asking about not games. Whoa.
Yeah, this time.
Oh gosh, yeah. One chance, right? No, yeah. Just been, out and about, like popping into so many, local neighborhood events. Because the weather's been nice and all. And, like popping into one of those like after this. So that's kind of what have been the vibes. Yeah.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah, the sun is out, and you gotta take advantage of it.
Any particular things you want to talk about on that front? What's going on? What's going on around you? I don't want to dox you here, but is there any fun little dealios?
I feel like Maverick and I just do that anyway, like in terms of doxing ourselves whenever we allude to something very specific, and one can look it up and be like, oh.
Oh yeah, totally. If you're ever on the corner of Broadway and Troutman, you know where to find me. Cover that up with an almond break.
I learned there were two Putnam Avenues, so if you say Putnam Avenue, people are going to be, that's actually a little tricky. No one's going to know. In the same neighborhood, within Brooklyn itself, there are two Putnam Avenues, and they're not connected with each other.
I'm sorry, what?
There are. If you look
I gotta look this up now.
There's one near me, but then there's one further deeper into Brooklyn, so that's something I can use.
Okay, I get what you mean, yeah, but they like, No, I was aware that it's like kind of like a weird L.
Yes, they're not directly connected with each other. You would think there would be one downward, like if you keep going down a street, like, oh, there's a reason it's named that way. It's still one singular street. But there's like a turn in the
literally,
middle of
yeah,
so.
I know. I'm seeing it now on the map. The fucking smallest little, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like a street fair near here. Okay. That's fun. It's actually like a Filipino run fair, so that's cool. And
thinking about getting any kind of snacks.
Oh hell yeah. I don't think I can bring a bunch of stuff back home, because right after that, then there's another thing I have to go to. There's a comedy show. I normally don't go to those. I have a particular thing against comedy shows.
The worst thing that you could ever do in New York City is go to a bar and have a surprise comedy show happen.
A surprise comedy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're like, it's nothing, it's not on the bar's programming or whatever restaurant, and you're just ambushed by the most unfunniest person who is now taking up the noise, the sound sphere of, like, you having your pleasant conversations with your friends, and then out of nowhere, just a extremely unfunny mofo just has to start talking.
It's so unfortunate, because, like, here's the thing, like, I've definitely been, like, in a fair share of shows. Oh, by the way, hi, it's Maverick. I'm also on today's podcast.
Yes. I was kind of waiting to be like, oh, hey, Maverick's here. Maverick can also speak on the New York experience.
Yeah, Liz, you got me already speaking on it, so I figured I might as well clear that part. But no, like, I remember there was at least one show I've been to where it was like this Japanese rock band performing at a sake bar, and it was like, what, 9 or 10 of us? But the thing about, like, a small, like, music performance is that either you're not there at all and you're just kind of, like, there to soak up the vibes, or you're fully committed to the people that are playing and you're just fully zoned in on that.
Yeah, it's music. You can zone out to it. Whereas,
you can have, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, I don't have favorite comedians, but then it's also, like, they perform at specific venues and stuff. Like, if I'm going for comedy, I'll go to the Bell House and see whatever they're doing. I'll go to Union Hall. I'll kick myself in the ass and go to Union Hall, as much as I don't want to go to fucking Union Hall. But no, a surprise.
I'm going to Union Hall, so good luck to me.
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, is it? No, Joe Perez is not performing tonight, is he?
No. It's Picture This. I don't know if you know that is.
That sounds familiar, but
no, because I'm looking into, like, probably participating in it. Where, so Picture This is a series of shows where actually artist work would actually draw at the same time as the performer. So it's really cool, and I know a lot of people were involved in it. So I was like, oh, I would love to be involved in this one day. And I don't know if they originate in California or New York, but they have a New York and California show. So I'm seeing this to see what the whole deal is and how it works. But yeah, that's something. But yeah, like in terms of the vibe, like that's something I would recommend. In terms of like, oh, this actually seems fun. This seems like something that actually like would not feel grimy to go to, you know. Because, you know, again, my association with comedy shows, again, is like the issue in the discourse today would have like just really shitty men just in the scene, just way too many shitty men in the scene. Plus, like, I think a lot too about like how invasive like those guys on the street are about advertising those shows. Like, oh, we got some, you know, and that like that wigs me out. I'm like, I don't like this. It's something about it is very scummy, and I think sadly is reflective of like how like the industry has just too much shitty men in it. But for sure, like, yeah, Bell House is a great example where they actually do highlight like a lot of lesser known folks, and have some pretty diverse programming coming up too, from what I've seen in the newsletter. But yeah, those are some of the things I'm doing late afternoon tonight. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Just forcing myself to go out to things. Having been you know, it's already June. That's wild to me. It's already fucking June. But still feel like slowly transitioning out of the hermit mode of winter, and, you know, still being wary of pandemic stuff and still trying to be careful. Yeah, it'll be fun, I think. But yeah, it's a shame because, like, from the fair, I can't carry food to me. I don't know if I can, like, you know, so that's kind of the thing I'm trying to figure out, like, but yeah.
Absolutely. All right. That sounds like a real treat. I hope you have a good time.
Yeah.
Maverick, how about yourself? What's going on your end?
You know, chilling. Not really aiming to go out because I do not have any money.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's always the vibe. That's always the, like, oh, that's cool. You then look at your bank account. It's like, oh.
I'm keeping track of that bank account.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, earlier, so far what's happened today is that I had to deal with, like, a leak in our bathroom, which did not anticipate, but, you know, took care of it. Saw the most pronounced plumber's crack I ever saw in my goddamn life.
I'm glad they're still out there, to be honest. I would have thought that it would have gone out of fashion many years ago.
It was
I'm glad
farcical.
that's still being upheld.
It was like, trope. Dude, did you get a costume and put this on before you came in here? But no, you know, other than that, I think I'm trying to actually commit myself to making today a bit more of a cleaning day and just taking care of stuff that I've, for the most part, been neglecting. But I'll give myself some grace with that. Last week, I was dog sitting for a friend, and that was a very good time.
Yeah, how do you feel about dogs, Maverick?
Oh, dogs are great.
Would you like to have... Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely a dog and cat guy. It's just that we never really had the space for either. But, I don't know, like, the one bad experience I've ever had with a dog is, like, the one that my ex back in high school had. But, like, he always barked at me, but I think mainly, and... You know, when the family would explain it to me, yeah, like, it makes sense. He was a rescue, older in age, and I think, like, just the people... Anxious, and had, I think, a bad experience with people, like, taller, and just, like, people who would look like me who did not treat that dog nicely. But, yeah, I never... Like, even as much as he would bark, never minded him, because I got it. And especially if it's just, like, being overprotective. So... R.I.P. Sid.
Absolutely. That's good to hear that y'all have some plans, in a sense, you know, whether they be fun or cleanly. You know, it's good to do things around the house and to get out and all that. That's good. I am just gonna get ready for work soon, you know? I mean, I've got a while before work, but I want to make sure that I'm ready. That's kind of all I'm doing. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice one of my closing nights, so that means that I'm going to be up until 2 a.m.
Ooh.
So that's fun. Yeah.
You're going to see another streamer.
Has it been busy? lately? Like, what has been attendance like? Like, what were the sort of customers coming in recently? If you notice any shifts in traffic, etc. Any crazy streamers still coming in like that?
I mean, yeah, we did have streamers come in. That was a few weeks ago, though. Like, I want to say like a month ago, Twitch rented the place out.
Oh,
and
okay.
I did see Critical there, which is pretty funny, I guess, because he's very short, and he was wearing a cowboy hat.
I'm sorry, he does look like a short man. Like,
he is very short.
He appears short. Like, something about him has short energy. I know that's like a fucked up thing to say about someone, but he has short energy for sure.
Mm-hmm. I did see him playing the bee collecting game that we have, and that was it. That was it, because I left right around when he showed up because I wanted to go home. I was very tired. We also had some. I don't remember their channel name, but I guess they're pretty big. They do like basketball and anime skits. I don't remember their name, but one of the managers straight up like stopped them when they were leaving to get a picture. So I was like, all right, yeah, they must be pretty big. I don't know YouTubers in general very well.
It's a different domain.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know streamers that well. You know, like I bet a bunch of really popular streamers were there. I just recognized like Critical because of like memes and shit.
I'm pulling up the creators on VidCon that are coming up for this year's VidCon.
Mm-hmm.
I think one name that I recognize so far is Smosh, and that's about it.
Whoa, that's like old YouTube too. Like
they're still out there,
doing stuff.
They're still out there because of the fact that they're like a collective now.
Well, they're also on Vine. They were like hopping on everything to make sure they're.
Oh yeah, but it's no longer just like Scott and Ian. I think Scott left.
And they actually became a bigger
company who's like a subsidiary of like Mythical, Rhett and Link's whole deal.
Yeah, they became essentially a network, I'm guessing.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like how Rooster Teeth is just
Duo
like
the Owl's going to be there.
Huh?
Duo the Owl?
What?
From Duolingo.
Like, physically?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, the owl.
Yeah, the owl itself. That's fucked up. That's scary.
He's going to be going around with a bat beating the shit out of people who haven't practiced their language, yeah.
He's going to like hover over people like looking at their phones, ensuring they are opening the app and learning French level 5. You know, like it's
you know, you could be brushing up on your Mandarin right now, you know? I know you're online. I don't know what else you could be doing.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
I'm picturing like a giant mascot costume.
There's some like literal children that are there, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is there that one kid that Wayne Radio edited his face to look all decrepit, and then everyone thought that they were legitimately using like ancient magic to keep him young or whatever? That was pretty funny.
What, Hasbullah?
Like it was like no, there's like no, it's like that it's like an actual small child. I think so. Yeah,
like
Ryan's
the toy
World
kid
or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
There was just like an image. Yeah, there was an image where he just like edited his face to look all like decrepit and like he was like melting, and a bunch of people were reblogging like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe his parents are doing that to him."
Oh no!
Like, it's like yeah, they're totally like using necromancy to keep this child the same age. Yeah, that's what's happening.
God, he makes enough to purchase me like 5 times over.
Absolutely, just because he likes to open up toys, and kids like to watch him open up toys.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean,
as someone that watched people play video games because I couldn't play those video games, I get it.
Yeah, and as someone who watches people open up trading cards because I can't buy the trading cards, I also get it.
Well, granted, we also like say a lot of shit to some of those people that are opening those trading cards. Fucking
1 or 2 in particular, perhaps, but you know,
I'm opening up a new pack of cards. It's almost 2:12 p.m.
I hope a gust of wind doesn't pick me up and carry me across town.
I sure do hope that I don't get swayed away out of this forklift. Whoa, I'm not even forklift certified.
Oh my God! If we, I feel like we can't introduce Cyber Knight to people normally. It's not good.
We can't go back. We've uttered the name on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's
how can a man be that bad at opening up packs of cards?
It's a little. Listen, as someone that was a hand model for a total of one afternoon, you notice.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Look it up on the Shake Shack official Instagram. One set of those hands back in 2021. She a boy.
Oh hell yeah! Were you holding a shake or a burger?
I was holding a burger. Let me go find it.
Ooh. Okay. We can. Yeah. I definitely want to see that burg held by a real professional. Yeah. While you're looking for that, though, we could maybe touch on some stuff that's been going on.
Oh yeah, actually start the podcast. I'm cool with that.
Perhaps. I mean, we got news and we got games. Let's see here. Let's do some of the smaller bits of news here. We've got some fun stuff. We've got some wild stuff. Not really anything too bad this time. Now that I'm scrolling before. Yeah. This is just gaming news, I would say this time. So first off, I'm gonna delegate this to you, LV, because there's the 2 Sims news articles here.
Sure.
That you seem to be a little bit more aware of. Would you like to discuss what is going on?
Sure.
Would you like to discuss what's going on in The Sims 4?
Yeah, in The Sims 4 world, a very unhinged world, The Sims world it is. Well, last podcast episode, right, we were referencing how they finally are implementing customizable pronouns in the game at some point. I don't know if it's in there already, but that was something they already considered to do, which is, I'm sure, something that has been wanted and also probably has already been addressed with, mods, right? But now we have, this, kind of roller coaster dip back down to something that's not that great. An attempt has been made. Where for a while, God, I don't even know how old The Sims 4 is. It's already, maybe 5 years old at this point, right? I think one of the immediate criticism of Sims 4 is how it just looks, right? The way people look is a little. There's something off, not uncanny even, but just off, just odd. There's definitely complaints of how, especially compared to 3, which was the last Sims game I really sat down and played for hours on end. I think I do have 4 though, but I think I never touched it, to be quite honest. But yeah, just the way characters look and are lighted is a big question. And throughout all the games, you have all these pre-generated households and Sims. They're not quite NPCs. I don't know if it's best to call them that way because you can just choose them and play them yourself too. But I would say pre-generated Sims. So there's kind of main state characters where there is implied Sims lore, right? One of these characters, an example being of this is the Goth family. They're obviously a parody of the Addams family. Their whole theme is being spooky, a little morbid. Their house is usually designed with the darker Gothic theme furniture, etc. And yeah, they kind of been fan favorites. People have made their own interpreted canon with it, fan fiction, etc. All that, all the fan material. But it's pretty apparent in Sims 4 that these characters and other characters were what people felt to be whitewashed. And again, which is aligns a lot with some of the issues of how the lighting in the game and just the coloring in the game is very weird. Or it seems it doesn't seem well polished compared to previous games. For how for the source system this game is meant for. So recently, they finally decided to address an issue like this, and especially with this group of characters, the Goth family, where they finally decided to go back and finally darken the complexion of their skin. Where in past games, they very clearly were brown skinned folks. Something about them seemed to be coded Hispanic in a way. If not obviously also probably a reference to Gomez in the Addams family, who is potentially coded as Latino Hispanic. So there's that, they're oh, okay, that's neat, sure. But then people immediately found, testing it, I think the update has already rolled in, and people immediately found out, for one, if you already have these characters generated in your game, that update sadly will not just roll in automatically. You have to like it's hard to explain. Like the state or save state of the game where you had the original like designs of these characters will not be updated automatically. It will actually, you have to sadly wipe the data of those characters to get this new update, unfortunately, because it will consider them as two different characters. That's kind of unfortunately how it works. And that ties into other problems with The Sims 4, or at least the very state of like, why is The Sims still this way to this day with how it's programmed and how like characters are generated. People found out like there's like two kids characters. There's like two characters who are not fully adults in this family. And they found when they age up and when they grow up, they look fucked up. Like the changes that they made somehow to improve seemingly the character's appearance and like correct like what people felt like was a weird, kind of oversight. It actually ended up fucking up like the whole like genetics or like characteristics inheritance. I don't know how to explain it in like proper technical terms, but like in layman's terms, the update to these characters that seems like a good thing fucked up otherwise the mechanisms of how the characters are supposed to like naturally change or age in the game too. So yeah, it's not great. It's like again one of those, it's a nice gesture and it's like, oh, okay, but why did it, but it outs several issues with like modern Sims. Like, why is the game so weird and its back end to still act this way and have all these buggy issues? On top of like, why did it take so long for them to just like change characters' skin color? The game is very broken, despite the fact that this should be like, kind of definitive like modern age Sims for the last couple of years. So I don't know. I'm curious as to when they will have another mainline Sims game, like when Sims 5 will ever happen. Probably might not be for a while still, because they're still rolling out updates for this, like really hard, right? But yeah, again, it kind of goes back to the issue of like, yeah, there are so many things that should have been just in the game by default. That is not, and it has taken like the huge self-sustained player community to like mod that stuff in or like suggest it in. So it's a very like low minimal effort thing they did really. And then it just outed some of the other issues in the game. So yeah, an attempt was made. In terms of like other Sims news followed after though, and this is Buckwild. Basically they're adding furries to the game, which also is another weird thing to me that they just did not have, because right, like your characters can turn into like monsters or like werewolves in the game, but I think from my understanding of this is now you can just outright build an anthropomorphic creature as a Sim. Let me double check this, but again, this is another weird thing that for a long time I am certain there is a huge furry community with something like The Sims. I'm gonna read the tweet, which is very unhinged. So June 16th, basically June 16th, they're adding like lycanthrope stuff to the game where you can basically create werewolves specifically. So no other animals. So I apologize for not specifying, but specifically werewolves or like canine folk, right? And again, as a DLC. But they tweeted out literally, drop and a woo if you're ready to join the dark side of the moon.
Are you fucking ready?
Like, okay, Sims. But yeah. Just again, like connective tissue back to the other thing I was talking about. Like, there's just a lot of. It's just weird to me that they're rolling out updates like these, where the modding community already had this settled. Like, every furry is representative. Like in Sims mods alone, you can just look it up. I want to be a fucking bird person. Sure, someone has made something that will help you be a bird person. Like, but yeah, that's the Sims. That's the Sims corner update. Sims 4 specifically. Man, what a fucking insane game. You can do anything, and it's scary. It's scary out there.
Mm-hmm. There's always something to do with mods.
Always something to do with mods.
Oh, and there's the Maverick Burger.
That's right.
There you go. I love the color of the background.
Oh yeah. Literally just had to go to this like local mural by like one of the Shake Shacks in like the Lower East Side.
Mm-hmm.
Fun little shoot. That's today's Maverick lore.
Maverick lore. Thank you. Some lore. So, let's see here. So some other quick stuff here. The new Dragon Age got its name announced. Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
I love how that's the bare minimum of many things today, where we promise you this thing exists, so we have to release this one, second clip of a title. And not even like an image. It's like a video they rendered out with some animation. But it exists, we promise you. The colors are weird. It's not what I expect. Like, what is going on with this purple? But anyway, yeah. Not much else to say about it, really.
Yeah, there's nothing else about this. There's no details. There's no release window. It hasn't even gotten rated or anything yet. This is just brand new name, and that's it. So there you go. We know BioWare's doing Dragon Age. We know they're doing a Mass Effect. That's all we know. They're doing something.
You cannot pay me to actually understand how a Dragon Age game works. Half the time, I just think y'all are making up a game.
From what I can tell, probably, yeah, they are. All right, and last bit of quick news here. So Jamie Lee Curtis, as you may know, is a pretty big and proud nerd. Cosplays sometimes. There was some pictures of her going incognito at EVO to play some Street Fighter, and she's also expressed interest in playing the character that like looks after Chopper in One Piece. I don't know the exact thing, but I don't know One Piece very well. I bet a bunch of people are yelling at me right now, like, "Oh, it's this."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but this past week she officiated her daughter's wedding.
Hell yeah!
She was dressed up as Jaina Pridemore from Warcraft, right? I think that's
it looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognize the coat. Like, even though as not a non-Warcraft, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then her daughter was cosplaying Squiggly from Skullgirls, and her wife was Elfelt from Guilty Gear. So there, I haven't like dug too far into it, but I've seen some other pictures, and like it seemed like it was just like kind of a cosplay friendly.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of people dressed up as whatever. There's a fucking Toby. There's a fucking Toby. Just the Toby makes me laugh. Seeing that in 2022 is really funny. Toby from Naruto. That makes me laugh. I don't know. next to the Woody and Jesse from Toy Story, like, it's of time. You know, not everyone cosplayed it, clearly, but like tons of people dressed up at essentially like this fun cosplay / Halloween party event, and that rules. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Very fun. I love it. Yeah, she's like a great person and just very supportive of like many things, and that's awesome. I think about that. I think about that a lot. She's like someone who has not been. She's someone who, I don't know if she actually declared retirement, but she's someone who's intentionally like not been like an act like as one of the iconic final girls of horror movies. Like, she is someone at like reached a point in her life. I recall this like maybe it was already like 10 years ago, but like she just stopped acting for a bit. She just like was just focused on private life and whatever. And she's been in stuff recently. Like she's like a major role in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I highly recommend watching. It's dropping on streaming next week.
That's right.
But I genuinely think that has a lot to do with like I don't know, just some celebrities who are just outright like, what happened to you? Why can't you be normal? I think genuinely, like, just someone just choosing to not be involved in like the industry so hard, and not choosing to like sell yourself. I don't know, like something about that I feel like is a necessary thing. A lot of people like in positions that, I don't know, just needing to learn to be normal. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I can't judge for her how she is. This is, again, like, from the perspective of someone who doesn't know her, but, like, everything about her that has been reported in terms of, like, oh, wow, she's just a good person. Sure, why not? And she seems awesome and cool to hang out with. But
she seems pretty chill.
Yeah, she seems pretty chill. And I didn't realize, like, mom jokes was also a category distinct from dad jokes. Like, she also wore a shirt like in her like at the wedding, or like I don't know, like during the reception where she probably like got out of the costume. It says just "Life is sweet." Like, sure, awesome, great. That's an awesome shirt.
I think that was like the hashtag for her daughter's wedding, like straight up, because she was tweeting that.
Yeah, and it's like it's like a cute commission photo of them too, of the couple.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very, very fun, very cute.
Yeah.
I hope Jamie Lee Curtis gets, like you said, she does seem to be winding down a bit, but I hope she gets to play in that One Piece Netflix show. That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean more to say she has chosen not to be like in the mainstream limelight. Like, it's clear like she still has been acting here and there and again, like again in something significant like Everything Everywhere. But she has clearly been deliberate and like I don't have to do this shit anymore technically. Like, like just very much like I am being selective about what I involve myself with, and I'm focusing on my family and just just doing nice things with and just more celebrities you fucking do it. That's the problem. It's like, damn, like Jesus Christ. Again, that's like a bigger issue that does not involve her. But yeah, just there is something to be said about like, okay, this is clearly someone who is not like trying hard to like I said, sell themselves constantly, or is being pressured to sell themselves constantly. And it's like, come on, you don't need to do anything anymore. Just literally just
hang out.
Yeah, just hang out. Be normal, please.
All right, so let's touch on one big news here, because this one kind of splinters off a little bit. So there was the big ol' Sony State of Play. I thought that would have been maybe a smaller thing, because most of the time the State of Plays are. But this was kind of supposed to be E3 week, so things are getting announced that are kind of big. Like, first off, hey, remember all those rumors that there was going to be a Resident Evil 4 remake? It ain't rumors anymore, folks. We got a trailer, and we got a little release date of March 23rd of next year. Resident Evil 4, baby. The trailer showed just a few things, not really any like major gameplay or anything. They did say that they wanted to modernize the gameplay and modernize the game a bit. My take will continue to be that if it's good, great. I'm happy to have another way to play one of my favorite games ever. That's fine. And if it's bad, well, I do own one of my favorite games ever on like 4 different consoles. So if this sucks, then sure, I'll just keep playing the original, whatever. It's still available. It's not like it's a rare old NES game. You can still buy Resident Evil 4 on like anything, anywhere, all at once. I don't know. Do any of you have any differing opinions on the RE4 remake? Are you like actively excited?
I don't know. I feel like we are definitely hitting the point where, they say nostalgia comes in a cycle of every 20 years. We're sure as hell hitting the point of people having early 2000s nostalgia. I do not think it means we have to necessarily remake things from the GameCube, Xbox, PS2 generation, if only because you can still access those and they, for the most part, still hold up. And especially a game like RE4, where it's like, I get wanting to work with it, but it is still as many people will say, it is still a phenomenal game, not just in its own series, but overall, in terms of what it delivers for the third-person action genre, what it delivers in its essence. Like, I think, you say it best, where it's just like, if it's bad, hey, we still have the original. If it's good, congrats on being able to fluff up the original.
Yeah, it was like, again, as someone who's like not a player of this series, but like it was a definitely formative game for a lot of people, I think, the time it came out. And I agree. I think it's like, if I think there's enough room and space between here's a remake, and here's original, that I think it's easy for one to ignore one of the other. I think this is like a good example. This is a potentially good example where that could just happen. Like, literally, like in a lot of ways, there's always that tricky thing with remakes over like how exact, like how remake is, like, I don't know, it's like a weird question, but like how much of this really is literally just a remake. We are just literally recreating every single thing versus like a recreation, which is, I think, a little more accurate of a word for some of these things, where they are, things like outright changing some elements to the story, somehow how certain things and like composition, like like the Final Fantasy VII remake, which has clearly changed some things and is on its way to committing to some of that when the additional parts will come out and additional or episodes. I don't know what they were calling it, but like,
right.
I agree with Maverick where I think that gap is enough, where it's not going to conflate like and yeah, it's always a question too of like, who is this for? Like, is it a nostalgia grab? Is it directly targeting old players? And if it's targeting old players, it wouldn't be doing some of the changes it does usually. I don't know. It's a lot of questions over like what a remake means now. Because it's for a lot of times I've noticed a lot of remakes are really like, wow, this is really going a different direction in a lot of ways that even though there's small, minute changes, it really impacts a lot.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It will be I suppose we'll see more trailers and maybe hear more about it as time goes on. But yeah, I sure did start up Resident Evil 4 that night when they announced it because I was just like, fuck, I'm thinking about Resident Evil 4. I gotta play through it again. And so I started playing through it again. And yeah, I I love that game so much. Holy shit. It's so good. I could play it over and over forever, for real. But I think they also confirmed that it is coming to Xbox and Steam as well, so it will not just be a PlayStation game. Speaking of games that were PlayStation only, Spider-Man Remastered, that Marvel Spider-Man PlayStation 4 and then PlayStation 5 game, is coming to PC on August 12th. They also said that they are going to port Miles Morales to PC. I don't think they have a specific date, but that will also be coming to PC as well in the future. So that's cool. Those games are fun. They're great, and I would love for more people to be able to play them. So there you go. Put that on PC.
Oh, I just remember they fucking Tom Holland did the guy. Yeah,
I remember that. That was it's kind of funny. It's very stupid, but it's very funny.
Yeah.
They were trying to say it wasn't Tom Holland. I don't believe them. Nobody believes them.
No, that's Tom Holland as hell. You can't.
Yeah. That boy.
As we had this like Andrew Garfield lookalike in the original iteration of it, which fine, whatever. But oh my god, like, yeah. Here's what I will say: there's no such thing as all white guys look the same. You have shades of white guy. We tested this in college between two of my friends who we always confused for one another. There are shades of white guy.
I believe it. That sounds right.
You got the birdie looking white guy, then you got like the kitty looking white guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're thinking, oh, I don't, you've seen a birdie looking white guy.
I think you described both of the forms of Spider-Man in the Marvel PS4 game. He went from birdie to kitty, absolutely.
Yeah, he does have a pretty look to him, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're porting those. Everyone was like, "Oh wait, is it Bloodborne?" It's not Bloodborne. I'm sorry, everybody. It's still not Bloodborne.
Bloodborne card.
We are getting Bloodborne card eventually. That is going to happen. They also talked about some PSVR 2 stuff. They confirmed that Resident Evil 4 remake is going to have some PSVR 2 stuff. They're, I guess, going to port Resident Evil Village to VR for PSVR 2. There's also an update to No Man's Sky for PSVR 2. And The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 is coming out this year on there. As well as a new Horizon spin-off called Horizon Call of the Mountain. That'll also be on PSVR 2. Horizon is also getting a New Game Plus mode on Forbidden West and some other updates that I did not pay attention to because it's Horizon Forbidden West. We have another trailer for that Callisto Protocol game, which I still think is extremely funny that they announced it to be in the PUBG universe and then they redacted that, which is really funny. They're like, God, the only way you can make it funnier to set a horror game in the PUBG universe is to say, actually, no, now it's not. That's very funny.
Robbed of our Evo 1 crossover.
Robbed of the updates to lore.pubg.com. But that is coming out December 2nd. We have Roller Drome, which is the new game by Roll7, the Ali folks. It's a roller skating battling game. It's coming out in August. That seems pretty cool. Roll7's real talented, so I'm sure this will be solid.
Do you want to know what's not solid?
So, you very specifically brought this up, and we're like, oh man, I can't wait to dunk on this. Enter Knights, which, I thought the combat looked kind of cool. I don't know.
My eyes, board it as Eterna Knights. It's Enter Knights. I don't like that.
It is Eternites. It is Eternites.
Oh God,
you are right. It's Eternites.
No, it's the issue again with Wonderworld. It should be Wonderland, but it's not.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw the combat because I was at work while the state of play was happening, so I was watching it muted. I thought it looked all right. So some of the dating sim stuff looked real cheesy, but Maverick, what about it really?
My God, yeah, I didn't see the full thing.
There.
Well, you can go on Maverick. I'm sorry, I just saw the trailer now. You can.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and make sure that I can find the developer for this, because boy,
I just skipped around, and if one looks up the trailers, they linger on the moment where it shows. Press R1 to hold hands.
Seeing some animation of some girl with some rendered tits.
Yeah.
With that jiggling tit action.
Yeah.
Specifically, God, I wish I'm trying to find the tweet for it now, but basically this is developed by someone who went, a while ago, I played Persona 5. That led me to playing Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 FPS. After that, I decided to quit my job and develop a game, and I will not knock someone for outright stating their inspirations and what they want to, go into. If anything, I applaud the fact that this developer can actually go ahead and say, oh yeah, I'm making a game that's me doing a take on Persona and anime to an extent. Sure wish a lot of developers would admit whenever they're cribbing off of Twin Peaks, but we don't get that as much. That said, I think one part is that it looks like a game that I just wouldn't anticipate out of a PlayStation State of Play. I really don't know what it's doing here, but then also it's just it feels like something that takes in inspiration in a way where it's all coming together into something that I just don't feel interested in. I give it the presentation looks fine. I'm sure the combat is all right. It's just in the same way where this is all saturated. Really, what it reminds me of is it's 2022. Any of y'all play Monarch yet?
No, nobody played that.
Everyone's favorite new game from some of the old developers of SMT and Persona, Monarch.
Nobody played it.
Nobody played it.
The demo is really bad.
The demo's it holds the same. Press R2 to hold hands. It holds.
Yes.
Press R2 to hold hands.
Press R2 to hold hands.
Oh man, and this dude's already memeing on it.
And the bike riding with one saber arm out, dude, yeah.
Again,
it looks fine. In terms of presentation, I agree. But there's something about it that doesn't have a lot of still work. Wait, I don't know. I'm reading the story is essentially it's post-apocalyptic. You are trying to, you're trying to beat up monsters and just survive, etc. Right? There's the city's in ruins. And I guess you can date each other. Sure.
Props to the studio that they hired for the animation stuff. It looks like looks like production IG.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think I get what you mean by saying it looks weird that this is at this. It is not looks. It is weird that this was showcased as they play, because it feels like a lot of those anime games I just see quietly released that are forgettable, like you were talking about with Monarch as an example. And they don't have a lot of they don't have a lot of breath to it. I don't know. Again, this is like a very like mean judgment of it. But the moment I saw the main character on the bike with the sword, I was like, oh man, this is like the weird anime club fantasy of like, yeah, I'm in an anime now and I can just do whatever.
Were we recently asked to like consider what's the Morbius of video games? I think before I said Monarch, I might chalk up Eternites as that as well, where we're gonna have fun making fun of Press R2 to hold hands, and no one's gonna buy this game.
Let's take a look at it. I mean, I'm a little curious about it. I might check it out, but yeah, I see where y'all are coming from. Absolutely,
I'm definitely curious about it. Like, I'm always glad to be proven wrong about a game, especially if I already have a lot of preconceptions about it. But the thing I've noticed about anime inspiration is that oftentimes the inspiration can either come from the best parts of the genre or the worst parts of the genre, and it's really hard to somehow find an in-between.
Yeah. It's, you know how it is. Let's see here. We got some smaller games here, too, of course. Tunic is coming to PlayStation, PS4, and PS5 September 27th. We have Season, A Letter to the Future, which is coming this fall to PS4 and PS5 and PC. It's looks like a more storytelling driven game. Lots of taking pictures and wandering around and searching for information.
Created by Scavenger Studio, who I think recently had might have been like even from the actual release of the game that there's like just a lot of reporting about just the way that the management was holding up that studio. Yeah. That's sort of that's the shadow that comes up with this game, unfortunately.
I see. We also have Stray, which is coming out July 19th, PS4 and PS5. It's actually going to be on the PS Plus collection if you have it, so you can play as a cat in a cyberpunk game.
Yeah, this one has been like in the workshop for a while. I remember the first demo of this like years ago. Everyone was like, "What? You can be a cat?" And that was like a big deal. We were like, "Oh shit!" Like cat in a cyberpunk world, sure. And yeah, this is exciting. And again, I'm curious of like if there's more, like what the extent of the game will be beyond just like I'm exploring and what am I doing? Yeah. This one was like kind of like a long away one for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Last two here, of course, we had a new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. They talked a lot more about how that game is going to shape out. The music's being done by one of the Final Fantasy 14 composers, so people are real excited about that. I don't know. Gameplay seems cool. I don't really care too much about where the story's going. The gameplay looks really nice. And then lastly, Street Fighter 6. That's the big one here. We've got the big one. A bunch of characters got leaked also. But first off, I'll say that they show that there's going to be some sort of single player aspect to it where you're wandering around Metro City, maybe like picking up quests from people and getting into fights on the street. So far they have shown we've got Ryu and Chun-Li and Luke, who was in 5, as well as a new I think one or two other new characters. I gotta look up their names. Let me see.
I believe one of them is Jamie from
Yes, yeah. Jamie here is the I think he's their cousin. He's got like a drunken master style going.
Yep.
And those are the characters that they've confirmed so far. But yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled here, then maybe skip ahead a little bit because we do have quite a bit of the roster here. So returning characters here. We have Cammy, DJ, Rashid, Juri, Ken, Zangief, Akuma. I think that's Ed. Yeah, Ed. That's who's new there. We have let's see here. We have a very tall. I think that's Italy. Yeah, a very tall Italian lady MMO. or not MMO, MMA boxer. We got a French lady here. We have a Mexican lady who seems to have what's that sport called? I don't want to mispronounce it.
Highlight, I believe.
Highlight, that's right. Highlight rackets, I suppose those would be.
Yeah, you could say.
Yes. We've got JP here, who again I can read his name because it's just JP. A lot of these are in Japanese, so I cannot read them. We've got an American girl here too, and then a Chinese lady named Aki, who I think is Fong's like protege from 5. I think that's her lore. But yeah, they just have a shit ton of leaked art for these characters, and there was even some footage of Cammy's like super art and a picture of Ken's like character select render. So yeah, that all seems pretty real, especially also because the Street Fighter Twitter account was like, "Oh hey, some of us have maybe seen some things that they're not supposed to. We're happy that you're excited."
Yeah, what do you got? I really dig the look of the Italian character. I'm gonna say that's Marisa with the was it? She has like a red like fucking helmet here that looks like a Centurion helmet, and then a lot of spear tight points and like the gloves, their gold chain, and the like battleman skirt. Mimi the French, a lot of bare feet in Street Fighter 6. I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Going in on that MMA aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of these designs are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the American girl is very cute. I think she's, like, is she very intentionally short, or is this just the design? I don't know. If she's very short, I would love to see how that works in the context of, like, the rest of the game, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly was also a character that kind of got spoiled with, I think, one of the introduction trailers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The character from the US, and
yeah,
it does match up with like what I looked out of the silhouette, and then I assume Lily from Mexico is related to T-Hawk somehow.
Okay, so you've got some like we're kind of pulling the Mortal Kombat 10, where we've got like a lot of like younger characters coming in to who are related to older characters to kind of fill in those gaps and bring new blood in.
Yeah,
I dig it. I
mean, it definitely has to be stated that even in a game that is confirmed to be set after Street Fighter 3, lacks any sort of like Street Fighter 3 representation.
At least not yet. I mean,
at least not yet. Yeah, but it's like,
yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we got to see. We got to see how that goes. For sure.
At least asking for Alex on the main roster. I just need a few of those. Not all of them, because, you know, I get it. It's a big franchise. Alex, Makoto, Dudley, at the very least, on that main roster.
I agree. I mean, I also play Ibuki. I'd love to see Ibuki.
Definitely considered
she was
Ibuki, too.
She was in 5, so, you know, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And one last little bit of news here involving Street Fighter 6, though. This is confirmed. They have actually brought in a non-white person to play Chun-Li now. For the longest time, Laura Bailey was voicing Chun-Li, but now actor Jenny Kwan will be playing Chun-Li. She's a Filipino American. She was in The Last Airbender as Suki.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, we've got some good characters here. It says here Alex Lee perhaps is playing Luke, and Stephen Fu is Jamie. So we've got some good representation coming in.
These folks. Those are names I recognize in terms of like even anime dubbing. Like, oh, finally we're not. Yeah, Laura Bailey's been a mainstay in like a lot of stuff. I'm sure she's a nice person, but I'm saying like seeing the same names and at least American English dubbing for like, it's just like, wow, there's like the same 5 people. Wow. And yeah, in recent years,
it's nice to see a change.
It's nice to see it's nice to see new voice actors. And that is why it's very significant in terms of like more flexible work from home policies, where a lot of these folks, a lot of these new younger voice actors or like ADR folks are just trying to figure out like, oh, I can just can go to like a rental studio in my local area, or have a studio, like figure out a studio situation in my apartment and just, figure that out. That makes it more accessible to reach out to like a more diverse pool of actors, where sadly, at least in the States, a lot of people are pressured to move to California or Texas. Texas has a huge ADR scene. That's where Funimation is based. And I think like something like that really opens up the gates, and of course the broader conversation of like, yeah, we need more like diverse actor. We need more diverse actors in general. And it's not to say like, we need more actors of color to actually play characters of color. Like, no, there was that whole thing where like, oh wow, this black character is being voiced by a white person, and yeah, that's definitely a valid and important conversation to have. Like, oh, that's a little weird, but it was very performative for people to just suddenly start talking about that. When the real issue is that no, there's just a lack of like black voice actors like getting properly casted and filling in roles in general, regardless of like the ethnicity they're portraying. So yeah, stuff like this is important, even though it seems like a minute thing. And again, like I said, a very bare minimum gesture, but that's a good thing. It's good to see new voice actors, and especially ones I don't recognize. And I think that's a good sign that the old guard does not need to keep getting roles all the time.
Absolutely, it is good to mix it up. All right, let's talk about what we've been playing here, folks. Maverick, what's going on with you?
Let's see. So, a while back, a friend of mine started streaming Life is Strange 1 and been checking that out. I have always come to recognize Life is Strange as a very 7 to 8 out of 10 game, in terms of recognizing that a lot of it, definitely didn't land. To this day, if you mention Life is Strange, you'll either get a bunch of people talking about hella this, hella that, or you'll talk to people about the tasty plasma to watch Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. It like a lot of bumbling in those first few episodes that unfortunately does sort of like mar it, where by the back end you definitely have this more thought out and well-intentioned narrative coming out from the people at Don't Nod. And there actually, is a bit of stuff to the whole series, because not only did that come out, you also had Life is Strange later on, or Life is Strange 2, which I don't know too much about. I've had one friend say it's very good, and then I've also had multiple people talk about, like, add an asterisk to that just based on how it tries to tackle topics of undocumented immigrants, racism within the United States. This coming out at like 2016, made by a French studio, and how well they can like necessarily grapple with some of those very US centric topics. But alongside that, though, there is also Life is Strange Before the Storm, sort of like a prequel, the Fire Walk with Me, if you will, of the original game, made by Deck 9. Which is a studio here in the States based out in Colorado. And it's that company that actually went on to make Life is Strange True Colors. And, when the trailer for that first came out, it was rough, because it's just, oh, you're an empath? You can, like, sense people's emotions? Wow.
Yeah.
Like, your
with
power.
the fucking music, too. Yeah.
The issue where, you see the streamer safe option, and it's literally just removing the music from the game, and it's kind of cringe, but that friend started through the first chapter of True Colors, and the things that were immediately noticeable were, one, the writing. Even by Before the Storm, Deck 9 definitely had much more of a handle on how to write these characters. But you see that shine a lot more in True Colors, where instead of dealing with high schoolers, like the youngest character that you'll interact with is maybe 18 or 19, getting ready to get into college. Everyone else is either as young as like their 20s or as old as like 60s, 70s, because of the fact that your main character, Alex Chen, is a child of the foster system for reasons that you explore later on. But basically, her brother manages to find her again after they got separated from the system and is like, hey, I'm living in Colorado right now. You should come and meet up with me. I think like it'll be so cool to reconnect and just start fresh. And the writing really does a good job of just selling you on the experiences of Alex, where she's had a lot of shit go down, and you can still see this light in this character. The brother, Gabe, is just someone that also is like so willing to do the right thing because of the fact that, you know, he spent a lot of time doing the wrong thing. And from that, you know, has gained a lot of experience. And even in just the amount of like from the get-go, you can just sense that, not just from the writing, but from the character decisions. And that scene with like the impromptu air guitar, when you actually have the music come through, it's really heartwarming because of the fact that it's like, oh, these are two siblings that haven't seen each other in over a decade, like finally being able to reconnect a little bit. And as you get through more of the story, a lot of the connection is such a critical staple of the game. So much so that, you know, actually getting a chance to go through it, and just a few days ago, I actually beat it. It really made me think about the fact that, like, shit, I really would have... This is a game I would have brought up in a lot of our deliberations when we were doing Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
In a way where it very much feels like a companion piece to Psychonauts 2. Both dealing with grief, trauma, mental health in their own ways, where a lot of Alex's power, like this ability to read emotions, it's like, it's not just like, oh, I know that you're sad, but specifically it's like when you have an intense emotion, that basically lets her like read your mind in a way, but specifically the feelings about like, or the thoughts that are connected to that emotion. And I think that's a nice wrinkle to what exactly that power is. And also, as you go through some of these like moments, the intensity of those emotions ultimately also reflect the perspective of the individual. So if there's someone that's scared beyond all belief, you know, Alex will like feel that emotion and you'll actually see the world through their eyes and necessarily what it is that they're afraid of, what it is that they don't, what they might be angry about. And it comes through in a way that really just hammers home the fact that, you know, we're not dealing with the end of the world. We're not dealing with a trek across the country. We're just trying to figure out why things are happening to a small town, and ultimately just trying to figure out how this person who had a lot happen to them at a very young age, how they can find closure in everything and really just start to actually live their own life.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you checked it out, and I'm glad that we got to hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm glad that there is another game set in Colorado that I actually enjoy.
Yeah, I think a lot how about the marketing of Life is Strange games kind of just does not give a shit. I like, as we were saying, like you were saying, like, oh, the hokiness of like, oh, I'm impact, you know. I think they trust the base enough to be like, oh, they're gonna just buy the game anyway, you know. And that's kind of the problem. But like, yeah, when you try to sell the game, was, you know, like, oh, here's this cringy, you know, like, like a lot of people outside the game stereotyping. Of course, the worst people it's just ignore, but like it does look like a cringy teen game, you know, and that's kind of like a problem. But at the same time, that is what huge fans of the series like about it. That there's elements to it that encompass like just the, you know, yeah, just encompass like kind of yeah, well, you know, whether or not there is actually just poor, you know, like looking back on the first game, whether or not it was actual poor writing, but like either way, the indirect result of it is something that people end up liking and kind of like find charm in the series for, and that's fine, and it's good to hear that actually it does explore the issues that it was selling that I think the most of the marketing material did not convey well in the actual game. So yeah, good to hear this investigative report.
Yes, thank you.
Also, just really does a good job of codifying choice in a way where it's like there's not the good option and the bad option. More so, and like there is an optimal way that you can go about doing things because of the fact that as an episodic game, you do have this experience of like, ah, shit, maybe I should have done this instead, or could have done this or that. But ultimately, like, going through the decisions that I did, they sucked seeing some of them sucked seeing the consequence overall, but it doesn't make me regret the playthrough. Like, it, I was at least able to say, like, no, like, it makes sense that I would want to do this versus not doing it, or it makes sense that I would try and like do this in this situation rather than not. And yeah, I mean, just can't think of another series right now that is like trying to do the things that Life is Strange is doing. I know that coming up, they're going to be working with Telltale Games on a series focused on The Expanse. That's up for them. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, right now it's on Game Pass. That's how I played it. So if you have access to it, I highly recommend it.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. Elvie, it seems like you've been diving into some gacha games. What's going on
I've been diving into gacha games, yeah.
Give us the rundown.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about two of them in one go because I don't know if I'm particularly attached to them. I don't know. But one of them is quite a big one that I think it needs its own dedicated corner. Twisted Wonderland, which is the kind of horny, but actually not really, as I've discovered, Disney approved mobile game created by Disney and specifically written, and I did not realize it was also written, but art and writing contributed by Yana Tobosu, who she is known for having created the manga and anime and other things, Black Butler.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, this game was like pretty. Yeah, this game is like actually developed and released in 2020. The North America servers did not go online until this year in January. So I finally decided, like, okay, I should check this out. I went on a mobile game gacha streak the past week or so, because why not? This is very much a game that its substance really is like, oh wow, look at these handsome character designs. So the premise is that you got isekai'd, I think. Like even you don't know. You like no one knows why, or you fucking just wake up in this dark world through a magic mirror, which again is the magic mirror from Snow White. But it's not. They don't say that. So this is a really funny game and like the weird like things they screw around. But I'll get into it. But yeah, you wake up at this like this college academy, which boasts itself as a magic training school. And all the students are like twisted fuckers who are based or themed around various Disney villains. That's the premise. Like the game's segmented across, various visual novel, like dialogue scenes. Gameplay is either like from what I've discovered so far, I think I do need to play it a little more. Gameplay from what I discovered is so far these like turn-based battles where it's like a side-to-side format. So you have characters on one side, the monsters on the other side, and it's a very familiar format if you're familiar with these games, where it's like, yeah, you tap a character to do stuff, etc., etc. The other gameplay levels are like the soft rhythm-based game where they're like chase scenes. They're usually like transitions between like significant like story events and well, not all of them are chase scenes, but I'm sure some of them are like like you doing like magic lesson or something, and like yeah, you're just tapping these circles moving around the screen. kind of akin to like Elite Beat Agents' gameplay. Like, but it's very nothing. It's very easy. Like, it's very slow actually. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's just most of the game. It's like it feels very similar to what I've experienced from a lot of male idol games, where yeah, it's just like these weird gameplay segments interjected between just scenes you tap through. The names in this game are ridiculous. So the main so there's like different houses. There's different houses essentially, again, themed around a Disney film. And they don't. So this is what's weird about the game. It literally is just themed as Disney stuff on the surface as Disney villains. But I don't think there's anything in the game that outright explicitly is connected with Disney beyond that. Like, there's nothing to say about like, they're like our, like say the house or soror, like fraternity. I don't know what they're houses. The house is like referencing Jafar from Aladdin, right? They don't directly reference Jafar, at least so far. Like, there's no explanation so far as to like why the aesthetics are the way they are. And like, yeah, the premise I'm being sold right now is like, you're just like in a weird magic academy and you just woke up one day here. The house based on the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland is called Hartslebel. I can't pronounce it. It is spelled Hearts, Labyul. The house based on Scar from The Lion King is called Savannah Claw. The house based on Ursula from The Little Mermaid and her eels. They actually added and her eels. Ursula and her eels. She gets her henchmen, sure. Is called Octavinil. It's like octopus, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The house based on Jafar from Aladdin, as I mentioned. Scarabia? Like, okay, that could be, sure. The house based on the evil queen, right? Who she's never had a real name. She's just the evil queen from Snow White. Pomifior. Don't know what's going on there. There's Hades from Hercules. Ignihide. Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty, Diasomnia. And yeah, those are the houses represented thus far. And then they have so all these characters are original characters otherwise. None of them is like actually a legitimate Disney character. There was a in the beginning prologue of the game, you run into a ghost that seemed to be from, I think they're Haunted Mansion ghosts. I'm not sure, but they clearly were recognizable ghosts from something. But in terms of like actual significant Disney characters, like directly the villains or anyone else, or any allusions to like any of like the protagonists from, there is nothing of that sort. It is very much, this is me going to the tea party. This is me going to my Disney tea party and having tea with my fellow Gothic Lolita pals. It's all very surface so far. And I don't have a lot to say about it. Like, there's not much going on. That is what the game is. So yeah, I think I just need to sit down with it a little more. But I don't think there's a lot of depth to this game, quite honestly, and that's fine. That's okay. It's allowed to exist that way. But for anyone who's like a Disney fan, especially a Disney villains fan, like, oh, that's its own community, right? There's not a lot. I don't know. This is something probably worth looking into from a surface, but again, it's another like, oh, merch collecting kind of thing, right? And I don't quite understand too the gacha mechanics as well yet, fully. Like, I don't know why I'm like drawing all these people. The game starts very slow. I am still technically in the prologue. I really dislike it when and I understand why, because like mobile games specifically target a demographic of people who are probably not used to games, and like this literally might be their first game in a sense, and but I really dislike it when mobile games do that whole thing, and that just railroads you in a very fixed tutorial track, and you have to like click things it tells you to, and you can't really freeform do anything beyond that. That's what this game does. Like it took like 20 or so minutes to finally say what the plot of this game is. Like, it's a little absurd, and it's very slow. So I do need to take more time on it. A game, on the other hand, I did not need to take time on, and I think it's like a pop-in game right now. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about it. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about it on our server, and you know, the hell that is the gacha channel. Dislight, which describes itself, which is not Disney related, I know I just talked about a Disney game. So what I just talked about was Disney, Twisted Wonderland. I'm now talking about Dislight. Nothing to do with Disney. Legally distinct from Disney. Just very so clear. Very clear. Described and marketed as a stylish urban mythological RPG set in future cities with striking visuals, exuberant beats, and super heroic characters. So, I'm going to immediately say, the gameplay in this game feels a lot like the Shin Megami Tensei D2, I think D2, mobile game. This one is, and just to say, the Twisted Wonderland game, you play it horizontally, so that's how it looks like. It's the landscape format. This one is outright a vertical RPG, mobile RPG. And I'm using that game as a reference because that's my only other game, and probably Pokemon, like Pokemon here, Masters, probably like that's my only two major references in terms of like a vertical mobile RPG. But yeah, characters are like on the bottom, the enemies are on the top. That's how it works. And yeah, menu buttons, so to say, and then they all have like three specific moves, and they all have like waiting time, right? The premise of this game is also kind of like in a way of like there is nothing very distinct about this compared to many stories that are like this, where you're in a city, and this is a world where like a bunch of people have all these powers, like, and magical powers. Yet all the and as a result, like, there's no one really like, there's no sort of authority or no one to really like regulate that, like say what can you do with it. Like, you know, there's people doing heroic acts, or, you know, it's again like, what if everyone got a superpower? Like, what will happen? Of course, the world will go into chaos. Some people will actually use it for good. Some people will just like be awful and just use it to do more evil things, right?
Of course.
And that's essentially what this premise is. Like, there's nothing more to it. But really what it tries to set apart is that it is, all these characters are like loosely based on mythological figures, folk heroes across different cultures. So like some of the first characters you meet are very much based on Greek mythological figures. And again, they are not them. They are just based on them. So similar to the Twisted Wonderland, they are not them. They are just based on aesthetics and elements to them. So there's, like, you know, you get a character that's clearly based on Artemis, you get a character that's clearly based on Cupid, and then you get, like, a lot of these Chinese folk heroes, like, pretty quickly, too. So it's a nice mixture of different cultures representative. Yeah, it's an RPG. There's something about it, like, the way it's written, and I put this question here, is this fate for teens? It feels like a teen, like, Twisted Wonderland is its own hell. It does not, that does not feel like a teen game, even though one might think it feels like a teen game. It's not a teen game. No, this is for adult Fujoshi who, like, you know, are off for rockers. And that's fine. You're allowed, go off, girls, go off. This feels like a teen game through and through. The way it is written, the way a character keeps saying freaking a lot, there are no fucks being thrown in this game. There's no cursing. People are very polite. But this game has rings of Fortnite plus fate in it. I know that's insane to say, but like, just something about it just, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Nonetheless, very stylish game, very awesome, like, character designs up off the bat, like, very cool. Like, it's selling the cool label really well, and I think it succeeds that way. Again, it's a gacha mobile game. I do not know what to say about it in terms of, like, how is it distinct from other gacha mobiles. I don't know. I feel like this is, again, like, I'm comparing it to D2 Shin Megami Tensei Liberation. It feels the same in how it works. Like, you have a scene, you have a battle, you're on a track, you repeat that, and then you draw some characters, right? Right. And, you know, again, it stands out because of its aesthetics, and I get that. What I really thought was funny that I have not seen in other games, other mobile gacha games, is that when you go to a character's page, and yeah, like I said, there's like ways you can improve the characters, etc. There's a review section. There's like outright a live discussion section in the characters page, and I have not seen this in other games. Again, if someone has, feel free to correct me. And I don't know if this is actually a common thing, where, you know, it's meant to encourage people to talk about the meta of the character, like, oh, like, what is the best way to, what's the best path to their build, or like, what are some best items I should equip with them, etc. But with a game like this, and just how, like, everyone in this game is, like, hot or, like, aesthetically attractive, like, the review section of, like, each page is literally just people, like, saying how hot a character is, or, like, how shitty a character is in terms of, like, they fucking hate them. Like, for instance, there was, like, one character who I agree is just awful and annoying, but you have no choice but to use him in the beginning of the game, right? He's one of the first characters you get. Just people shit talking this character, being like, "Oh man, I didn't know Mineta was in this game," shit like that. And it's just really funny to me. Like okay, sure. I've never seen that in any other mobile gacha game. It's really funny. Again, it's just filled with characters like, not characters, but people just talking about like how hot a character is. There's literally like another one of the first characters you get is like this Anubis butler. And his review section is very thirsty. It's just like, man, a lot of people questioning if they're furries or not. Like, it's just very funny. But yeah, that's all I have to say about those two games. They are indeed gacha games and different in their own ways, and seem to be appealing to two very different thirsty pairs of audiences. Though otherwise, I don't think I would stick around with them. They're not really cementing in my head compared to this third game that I will talk about later. But yeah. Interesting to be part of the zeitgeist, if not for a minute. And it makes a lot of sense, at least for Dislight, where, like, we see at Hades, there's just so much re-exploration, and webcomics, we're seeing the Persephone webcomic, for instance. We're seeing so much re-exploration of these, like, mythological heroes because it's something that people are most familiar with. And I think, like, to take that template and to try to twist it into something different, really does. I think it really makes stories accessible in terms of like, oh, I already know what this is. I know what this trope is, and the appeal is like, okay, how is this different from what is the traditional ways of like telling this character? What is the traditional ways of telling this story? Yeah, it's just interesting to see like that sort of stuff keeping these old stories alive through games. And like I said, this feels like a very teen game, and if that's a way for people to learn a little more about some literature and even other cultural folk tales and stories, that's neat.
All right, glad to hear it. Glad to hear that you're having a good time rolling that gacha. And again, I'm someone who doesn't care that much about or thinks a lot about those numbers and probabilities, so I can't really say a lot on that front either. In terms of like, what is the rate bad? Unfortunately, I'm not a good source for like that critique. Nobody is.
No one is really. I know those numbers change all the time and are reckless. So,
I haven't been gaming too much. I put my hands more on the shmups of the shmups of the season, the Cotton Fantasy, the Drainus. Those both still whip ass. They're both still very good. I got back into SMT Strange Journey though, the redo on 3DS. That shit still whips ass. I love to play Shin Megami Tensei. This game is so hard though. Holy shit. You really have to just be careful constantly. Anything can, like, SMT games are tough in general, but I think this is probably the hardest one, like straight up. You're just pretty constantly inundated by crazy shit. You have to be very careful as you play through that game. Like, I got sent back like 15-20 minutes by one of the bosses I was fighting because I didn't have anywhere to save, really. And, I thought I was doing pretty good, and then he started killing all my guys, and I was just like, well, fuck, alright. Great. That is how it is, however. That's pretty much it. Still kind of futzing around with Arknights, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see, more news. We got one more quick one here. We know who's going to be playing Sweet Tooth in the Twisted Metal TV show.
Oh my god.
And it is not one person. It is two people.
Oh,
because he will be voiced by Will Arnett.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did look up Sweet Tooth's voice. And he's a pretty good match for that, honestly. But he sure is not a good match for Sweet Tooth's body. So they decided that they were just going to dub over Sweet Tooth and have Samoa Joe from AEW act as the body model, I suppose, for Sweet Tooth. I think that fits pretty well. That's pretty fun, in my opinion. I dig it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how they do it.
I don't know. I mean, this whole thing with there being
weird.
A Twisted Metal show, who cares?
Who wanted it?
The casting does seem pretty fun, though. They're having some kind of good time here.
For reference, they did upload a picture of Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Now just imagine the clown mask.
Yeah, with the clown mask. Yeah, you won't see his mouth moving, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that they'll just be ADR'd over.
What did we also get? Because I know that there is another announcement on Twisted Metal. We got...
Oh, was there?
Mike Mitchell from Doughboys podcast fame is going to be portraying Stu, part of the duo Stu and Mike, I believe. And then,
I don't really know Twisted Metal, but some of the Twisted Metal heads seemed pretty stoked about that, so, you know.
Oh, I know fuck all about it, as well, so.
Yeah.
Good for people that want it.
Yeah, somebody must be excited.
Mm-hmm.
I assume, hashtag Twisted Metal Sweep.
Twisted Metal Sweep. It's coming in. Alright, so let's touch on some more of the big ones.
Oh, boy.
Some more big ones here. There was a bunch of Pokemon news.
Yep, there was.
So first off, Junichi Masuda stepped down as creative director of Game Freak, which, I'm sorry, but I saw that and I was kind of like, oh, fuck yes. I do know that he's not, 100% in charge of everything bad that has happened with Pokemon over the years, but boy, has he sure tried his best to make it seem like it. And he has been on record multiple times talking about how dumb he thinks kids are, not fully, but basically just being like, yeah, I don't think kids could understand all this stuff, even though we all did when we were kids, and I'm sure that kids these days could understand it probably even better. You know, stuff like the Battle Frontier, post-game stuff. So I'm hoping that with him taking a more hands-off approach, he's still working at the Pokemon Company. He's just a creative fellow, which means I guess he's just going to be popping in to come up with some ideas. But yeah, he's not as in charge as he once was. And I'm legitimately excited to see what happens with Pokemon now that he's not in charge. I'd like to see some new ideas. It probably won't kick in with Gen 9 because, he was probably there the whole time for the development of that. But I'm interested to see how Gen 10 will shake out without Masuda at the helm. But other than that, yes, Gen 9, we did get some more information here. They showed off some more Pokemon. 3 new ones. Pawmi, which seems to be the Pikachu clone of this generation. It's a little electric mouse. Smoliv, which is a normal grass type. Or grass normal, I want to say. Which is just an olive. It is a worried-looking olive.
Mm-hmm.
And Lechonk, which is a normal type pig, which, if you are familiar with what you're supposed to call roast pig, the Lech part refers to a roast pig. So I'm guessing it's going to evolve into some sort of fire normal type, like roast pig. So that'll be pretty cool.
Embor 2.
Embor 2. It'll be normal instead of fighting. That's
I would love to see it as a fucking roasted ass motherfucker with the apple in its mouth. Oh yes. No, it will have the little croc boy in its Sorry, I'm thinking too hard for the layers that could
yeah,
but standing upright and totally
still looks like an apple, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know people got confused if it was a chili pepper or not. But it's a chili pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Chili apple. Give me both.
They showed off some more characters too. We still don't know what the region is called.
The fucking professors.
Yes, they did introduce the professors here.
Dear God.
Let me see their names. There is Professor Sada and Professor Turo,
mm-hmm.
who they're actually separated by game.
Mm-hmm.
So you get Sada if you buy Scarlet, and Turo if you get Violet.
Yeah.
Because these games seem to be incorporating some sort of past versus future thing going on. Because
mm-hmm.
Sada is just straight up a cave woman. She
mm-hmm.
is just dressed up in fucking she's wearing animal furs with a lab
mm-hmm.
coat over it.
You play Chrono Trigger one time.
Yeah.
You play Chrono Trigger just once, and you're immediately
you lost it.
You're fucking
people
kidding.
Are going to feral. Yeah.
Yes. And Professor Turo is wearing a fucking cyber suit with a lab coat over it.
It just fucking looks like
he does kind of look like the Chad guy.
Yes, he does. God, it's the fucking swooped over hair. That's the thing.
Yeah. He does look kind of like that. And the big reveal is that there will be 4 players, multiplayer of some sort, in which you and 3 other folks can go around the region at your leisure and explore. They're talking about this being an open world game, so maybe I don't know exactly how that will shake out, but there will be just multiplayer exploration of the whole region. So if you have friends who you want to play with, you can play in the same instance and do whatever you want.
I like already that people are already starting to do a lot of the average Pokemon enjoyer edits.
Yeah. We also have the new legendaries as well for the game. The box legendaries, if you will. Let me see. Let me get their names here. It's Koraidon and Miraidon. And again, they're separating them by game, and Koraidon is a bit more like traditional and ancient looking, and Koraidon straight up has like jets, like jet engines instead of legs. So yeah, past versus future, baby. And they also both look like parts of a motorcycle, so maybe they fuse and become a motorcycle of some sort. They look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards to me, which is not a knock against it. That is actually a compliment from me.
You're not alone in that either. A lot of people have been making the comparison.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of like just images of people being like, "Oh, these look like the Rocket cards. Oh, look, these look like specific different Yu-Gi-Oh cards." Which I dig. I'm glad that we're all having a good time thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh. While also thinking about Pokemon. I had this very sudden revelation that I was excited about Pokemon Gen 9 today, or a day or two before. I was just kind of like, damn, wait a minute. Fuck. Yeah, they are making another Pokemon. Well, maybe that'll be cool. Let's see. But yes. The last bit of news here is, okay. Not to be mean, but they showed Sonic Frontiers. They showed some gameplay, they showed some combat. It doesn't look good.
John, it's okay to be mean, because I explicitly put this in the docket with the title Sonic of the Wild Ring.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on open world games these days. And I don't want to talk too much about that because, again, everyone has something different to say. But
I feel like it is difficult to separate that discussion from this game specifically.
Yes.
Especially because, like, there are a lot of jokes to be made about Sega hiring that man, to the point that even the person that made that original video of Sonic in the fucking Unreal Engine updated the video name to say, "They finally hired me," as a joke about how Frontiers looks.
Mm-hmm.
And, I say this as someone that is unabashedly a Sonic fan who, again, no matter how bad the game is itself, it doesn't ruin the image of Sonic to me. Like, I am low-key going through a rewatch of Sonic Underground somehow. I still care about this little creature. And it is rough. And a lot of... I see immediately that a lot of things are coming up. Like, oh, it's someone from IGN that's doing the gameplay video. So obviously that means it's going to be bad. This was something that was made like a few months previously. So it might not be the actual like updated build. And it could be any of these things whatsoever, but ultimately, what we see from this game is Sonic in this unnamed, isolated, like, open world where some of the gameplay footage shows, like, oh, as Sonic, you can run up these large towers and grind up them, collect coins, and, be able to maneuver and scale. There's a combat trailer somewhere where you get some of the older moves, like the spinning attack from Sonic Heroes that encircles an enemy. You can also just directly like target some parts of larger creatures that are going on, and it's definitely a toss-up for what looks good or what looks bad. The thing that sucks the most is that this just does not feel like a game focused around Sonic. And it's more so, what do we think would look good with Sonic in it, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the thing that people are accurately mentioning as well is the fact that the soundtrack is like that sparse studio Ghibli Joe Hisaishi piano that Breath of the Wild leans into, which for that game works spectacularly. It's very much something that's trying to focus on moments and sparseness of everything, only adding to intensity when it's necessary. Like that intro of Breath of the Wild will always be a seminal point and is part of the way that we sort of like see game development where it is now. That said, though, that's not necessarily Sonic's vibe. It can be,
no,
but also like
he's still bouncing off the shit and picking up rings, and it's making all the blang, the
exactly. You're trying to mix
sounds.
this with a game whose like sound design has been inspired by New Jack Swing, Eurobeat, ska punk, hip hop. Fucking like the last game acquiring the guy from Hoobastank to do a song about how cool it is to be Sonic's best friend. Like, this feels like a departure in a way that is very unsure about what it wants to actually do.
Yeah. It seems like this was a game made by committee, it feels like. They were just like, well, Breath of the Wild was really popular. A lot of these open world games are really popular. Like, I don't know, I feel like, say what you will about Elden Ring and how it does stuff with its open world, but just from what I've seen, Elden Ring seems inspired by Breath of the Wild. Like, yeah, sure, it might have overdone it here and there, but they, at the very least, were trying to bring their own flavor to it. Sonic Frontiers it legitimately just feels like they dragged and dropped Sonic's character model into Breath of the Wild, and we're just like, yep, that's it, that's a new game. There's, like, not really anything new to say here. It is just, oh, hey, look at that. It's Sonic, and he's running fast through this big field because you liked the big field in Breath of the Wild. Here's Sonic doing these little, like, event things, like in Breath of the Wild, because you like Breath of the Wild. It's nothing. And it just looks bad, too. Like, the combat was fucking horrible. It was just, like, doing the homing attack over and over again for, like, 6 minutes straight on one enemy. It's like, come on. This is like, I have no, like, I don't really like Sonic games either, but I just look at this and I just think, yeah, you're making a game that nobody wants. Like, people who do like Sonic games are gonna look at this and be like, what the fuck is this? What are you people doing? And then all the, I guess, people who aren't just the Sonic fans are gonna look at this and say, hey, this looks like shit. What are you doing? No, I don't want to run around in the big empty field. It's a completely boneheaded idea, I think, and like all the fans are like there have been multiple hashtags of please delay this because it's out in like 5 months, and like people have been arguing like, oh no, they could totally fix this, right? They could make this better. This is like pre-release footage. They still have time to fix it, and then it's like no, this game is pretty much done.
Again, like this, and there is at least one piece of speculation out there that's trying to say, like, oh, maybe this was, test footage from several months ago in the development, and it might look different from now. And, if that's the case, I guess learning a bit from the ugly Sonic marketing of, oh, let's just say nothing and then give you old stuff so that way when the actual thing comes out you can be impressed. I don't know. I just, like, a part of me does not inherently hate the idea. Like, it's just, I hope that this isn't the only thing. That if you do have this expansive world, it's something that leads into going to other zones or going to other locations and having those actual levels play out and let you explore them. But yeah, it's just, I feel like the last actual Sonic game I played was Unleashed, and that's one where, like, even at the age that I was, I could feel that tinge of like, oh, this isn't what I want out of a Sonic game. The things that I enjoyed, still phenomenal, but from there, yeah, I don't really know like what else it is that can necessarily make me like invested to play another Sonic game.
I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. It is, it seems like a mess. Seems like a real mess. Alright, well, to wrap this, LV, you do have one more thing, right?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Hit us with that last thing, and then we can wrap this bad boy up with some questions.
And this is a warning. This is a warning to everyone out there. Hatsune Miku is isekai-ing everyone out there, and you're not safe. This is a warning.
God, please.
Right, if Hatsune Miku just yeeted you into, like, a Tron world, would you accept it? Probably, yeah.
You'd have to. So,
Project Sekai Colorful Stage, or as it's known in North America, Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage. Because, obviously to market it a little more.
They gotta lean on that Miku,
more obvious, yeah, as to what this is about. This is another mobile gacha game, as I alluded to, when I talked about earlier. A mobile gacha game that specifically through and through is a rhythm game. So think Love Live, think Bang Dream Girls, right? It is that. But it is themed around the Vocaloids. It's themed around the Krypton media, especially, yeah. Hatsune Miku's Krypton media. Where, Hatsune Miku and friends. Let me double check. But, yeah, Krypton future media, yes. Tied in with these original characters and different stories. The premise is that, as I said, Hatsune Miku is just fucking zapping random people in this one city in Japan, to her magical virtual world, giving them a motivational talk to keep making music. and then she just needs them back out and begs them to live their lives and she keeps the premise is insane, and they just take it. And then yeah, she keeps communicating with them through their phones. Like, and then people are like, "What is that? Is that Miku?" And I'm like, "No, that must be a weird ad." And they keep getting yeeted back and forth to the virtual. It's insane. Basically, you have these different idol units that are all revolve around different themes. So that includes also the main Vocaloid folks, which they just call virtual singers. So it's Hatsune Miku, Len and Rin Kagamine, Luca, and then Kaido and Meiko, as one unit. And then you have the human characters, which are the people she's just that. You have this one unit called Leonid, which their story is they're a group of childhood friends, and they kind of like have this light music club, a light music band, basically. And that's their kind of main genre, music and theme around. You have more jump with an exclamation point. So you have to go more jump. You have to like yell it. And they're more like a traditional idol group, composed of one of them being someone who's inexperienced, and she wants to be an idol while she is mentored and assisted by the other members of the group who were former idols or people like who like more experienced idols. So yeah, aesthetically, they're wearing kind of like more, the classic ruffle uniforms, like a lot of female idols wear. So that's kind of their whole deal. Their music sounds very much akin to like classic idol pop music. Then you have Vivid Bad Squad. Their whole thing is like they're wearing streetwear. They're kind of akin to like more industrial electronic sound with flourishes of hip hop. Not quite full hip hop though, but like just flourishes of like, oh yeah, this is urban, this is street, it's like, okay, sure. You got the graffiti, their whole like logo is like, looks like a graffiti spray paint, but that's their whole thing. Their story I haven't quite, so they are the unit with like, I'll get to it, but like, the main girl for it is she's the daughter of an electronic musician who usually performs at lounges and clubs, etc. And yeah, Maverick is testing this game as I'm describing it. It's definitely insane.
Miku saying that I'm not from around here. That works
out. The next unit is they're called Wonderland Showtime or Wonderland's Extra Time, and they're themed around like amusement parks, carnivals, like theatrics.
Why not Wonder World Showtime?
Oh yeah. No, not. Oh my god, yeah, Wonderland Showtime, not Wonder World Showtime. So yeah, their attire is very like Carney-esque. Like there's a mascot character, and the last group is very interesting. It seems a little more grounded in like an interesting like scope of our reality and like how modern world of like independent music, 25 at the night chord or 25 night chord, or 25 G night chord there. They're a group of just sad girls.
Okay.
So that's the Wawaka group?
They're like a Dojin Circle music group where night chord is a reference to the in-universe Discord, where they literally have a server on Discord where night chord, not Discord, but it is Discord. And they just independently make music together, and like their whole thing is putting out music where they're not the face of the music. They're like producers essentially, and that's cool. Like, one girl's the illustrator, one girl is the main producer. Another girl's probably the person who's someone who's like the management project manager, where she's checking in, etc. And their whole thing is like the scope of the game and the chapters on they slowly actually started to meet each other in real life. Like that's their whole thing. They've been working on stuff for a couple years and they never met in person. So I think they're like one of the most interesting units. But yeah, we have all these like different groups and units in the game representing different themes, different genres, and they all have their own stories going on throughout the course of the game as you slowly progress and unlock as you play the game through. But of course, like in lieu of any gacha game, all these characters may have interconnected stories with specific characters, but of course you can mix and match it as you please when you play through. Again, it's a whole system of like, yeah, the characters are represented through cards you collect. You got S ranks, you got all the ranks. You can upgrade the cards, you can merge cards, etc. That's just classic way of working. And yeah, and the gameplay is mostly like these. It's this rhythm game set to different Vocaloid music. And what's also cool is that it's a lot of Vocaloid music where they recreated it to be sung by these characters. So you actually have the option of like either playing to the original Vocaloid production or master, or whatever version the game made for this. So there's actually some videos too they made specifically for this for this game where, yeah, again, this game is such an interesting love letter and kind of like history retrospective, like the mainstream Vocaloids, Hatsumika, like I said, the Krypton Media Vocaloid specifically, and like what they mean a lot for people, because again, there's a whole thing where you can switch between the original music or the new rearranged music with these new characters, singing along to the Vocaloids, which is interesting. Like they're actually mixed in, and they actually made new music videos for some of these songs too. So, and a lot of in the style of like a lot of like these old, Vocaloid music videos where, a lot of them are very low budget production, where it's like usually like a 2D illustration or a very rough drawing set to, slideshow, very, very low end, very, very minimal animation. And a lot of those music videos too they made for this game were also in that style. And I think that was like stuff like that is a very nice like throwback and dedication to kind of the Vocaloid scene in general, and the producer scene in Vocaloids in general. Like it's very DIY, and as much as like this game is like about like higher production in terms of like just the modern music scene in Japan too, and talking about that, there's a lot of cues and clearly intentional throwaways to like what the Vocaloid scene actually is like, and like those aspects, right? And yeah, how the game is, like I was saying, again, similar. Like you play the rhythm game stages, and then you unlock more scenes to move the story forward. So a lot of things are like in a bubble, right? So like you have like there's an event going on, for instance, and it's like this game has been out in Japan already for like a while. In terms of North American release, like it's been out for about a year, I think. So they're approaching that anniversary. So there's like a lot of stuff going on, and of course there's always events going on because it's summer too, where yeah those things are happening. Not real, already like in their own time sphere of like, oh, these characters already know each other. Like, oh, these character development beats already happen. Whereas if you're still like early on in the game, like I am technically, where I've not gotten that far technically, a lot of these characters still don't, so I think, which is, I think is fine. Like they're existing in their own time bubbles of like, okay, I get it. Like this event is happening in a retroactive future I didn't experience yet, What is also cool is that these characters also actually interact with each other. I know that sounds weird to say, but I mean to say that the different unit characters, they're not like in their own bubble only interacting with each other. Like it's very clear they're all in the same city. So there's a lot of neat scenes and like the little interactions like in the hub world map where they're actually talking to the characters of another unit. and not realizing who they are, etc. For instance, there's one of the units, the Wonderlands times Showtime unit, the carnival like amusement park themed unit. The main guy in it, the motivation for him wanting to get into like performance and music is because his little sister was sickly. She's like chronically ill, and she often gets hospitalized, and he feels like that sort of stuff, like watching shows was like a great way of escapism. It was sort of thing that brought them together and helped them bond with each other. And the thing is, he lost his way and like kind of became a little more like egocentric, a little more like you get a little more egotistical over time, and his motivations to get into career became a little more self-centered, and he kind of forgot his original intentions as to like why he wanted to get into the business to begin with, because he wanted to make people happy, like his sister. People who especially can't always go out or like get up and do things, and doing shows where someone can just watch it and be happy is something he wanted to do. And that's where Hatsune Miku comes in. She fucking kidnaps him and zaps him to her trot roll. And it's like, you've forgotten, your true ambitions as to why you want to do this. And he's like, huh? And then she just throws him back into the real world. It's insane. That's literally what, that is what's going, but that is what it is, yeah? And the thing is, so that's that. He has a little...
Oh shit, I'm just seeing someone get isekai'd.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And then Miku's being cryptic and fucking weird and not saying the whole thing. She's like, you have to learn this along your dream. It's insane.
Ichika, like, you gotta watch out. This may just look like a classroom, but whoa, it's punk rock Miku. The Vocaloids look different. All the different units, like in the 25 and Luke is here. Let's go.
She's the whole like emo gothic ragdoll. It's like fucked up. She's talking in monotone. It's like shit. And it's cool too. The game is fully voice acted, again, if optional download. But also, they also do have the Vocaloids fully in dialogue. They had some poor motherfucker figure that shit out, having the Vocaloids speak in full scripted dialogue and making sure it sounds right. Like, man. But yeah, back to the whole like Wonderland Showtime thing. Like, yeah, he has a little sister, the main guy, and that little sister isn't another idol yet. She is in Leonid. And they don't know. I think, like, at least so far, I mean, I don't think they know they're in these groups together. Like, like, it's interesting. But yet, they do interact with each other throughout the game. But, like, there's all this connective tissue throughout the game that is, like, very subtle and planted and significant. But I thought that was very interesting, because I have not seen, at least I don't remember seeing that, like, as a significant thing in other games. Like, again, like, my last frame of reference for a game like this is, like, one of the Bang Dream games, and I didn't really linger on that, but I lingered on Love Live for, like, a long time. And we don't really see a lot of that social interaction between all these different characters and rationale as to what's going, rationale as to why they're doing the way they are. And yeah, like, establishing from the get-go that they're all going to the same school or in the same city is like a nice foundation to like justify like, oh, they do have reasons to interact with each other. And like, it's a great, like, it's a great thing to develop on, especially if over the fact that they actually probably don't know that they're all trying to build different entertainment and music careers respectively. And that's cool. And yeah, again, compared to something like Idolmaster, like I said, like, it seems like a lot of things exist in a vacuum. You just have to kind of accept that suspension of disbelief depending where you are in the game and the sort of development you reached. Like, they're not real. Like, when you play the actual gameplay stages, they're not literally performing to anyone in particular. They're either, like I said, you can either have the music video playing or you actually have the characters mapped out to the choreography of the song. And it's really funny if you have it set to, like, not the original character. So obviously, like, you're gonna have there's a chance Hatsune Miku is going to be on the drums for a song when she's not supposed to be, but that's your character in your slot right now, so that Miku's going to be on the drums. Let's go. But no, as I was saying, yeah, there isn't like a lot of interactivity between like all the different characters in other rhythm games I played in terms of like, oh, is there justification, as to why? But yeah, as I was saying, like, they're not really performing to a literal space or stage. They're either performing in like Miku's weird virtual world, which is called Sekai, which just means world. That's the name of the game.
It's world.
Miku's isekaiing you to Sekai, which she explains many times. Sekai is created from the feelings of songs. The feelings of songs.
Yeah.
That is what Sekai is made of.
Like, the thing is that this is low-key kind of a continuation of the presentation of Project Diva X, where your song list is divided based on a lot of like these different like ideas or like vibes or whatever. So it's like, oh, you have the nostalgia vibe, the happy vibe, the like quirky vibe.
Yeah. And I don't know in terms of like actual like direct link. I mean, it essentially is an extension of Project Diva in terms of like direct narrative link to that Project Diva. Not like this is more of a game actually very cemented and really establishing this is our real world. And this is our real world where Hatsumiko is established as like not just a Vocaloid, but she is described as outright an idol by some of the characters. Like she is a known figure. And I guess this is also in the context of it being in Japan, where I think like Miku legitimately might be is treated with a very specific significance in the mainstream music industry for sure, compared to, here in the US, where I don't think that's the case. Vocaloids are still very much a niche thing.
I mean, nothing really like Gorillaz is the closest I would say the West has to a multimedia project like this.
Yes.
Whereas like we have Vocaloid, or in Japan there's Vocaloid, there's also stuff like Honeyworks.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Which has
DJ, anime
like all of these different things where it's like, oh, like it's a multimedia franchise from the get-go, but it just manages to work that way. And in the Vocaloid's case, it's especially helpful when the fact that it's like half of your, if not all of your song library is composed of people that just like chose to work with the software and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this up on Nico Nico.
Right. There's a very particular, I'm going to throw that wrestling term, K-Fab. Wow, I learned something. That particular K-Fab about it where that they really hone in on in the game too, where Miku's not real. They say that Miku's not a real person, but she's real. She's an artificial idol. They make that clear.
Damn it.
Yeah, she is real in our hearts. But she very much is a significant figure in the industry. So like the way they're treating the Vocaloids as some sort of like these mentors in a way to these real people. The humans. I guess that's my way to distinguish them. The human aspiring idols / performers. Because again, not all of them are technically aspiring to be idols per se, but like, in the context of this game, like idols. It's, just going back to my thing of like, this is such an interesting love letter to just a community that really fostered on like independent production. And it's so wild to me, like, and not all the music, I'm sure they're going to add over time. It's important to note that like there's at least one or two Vocaloids associated with each unit. But they're definitely going to round it out where everyone is going to have their own version of each other, right, in each game. And for sure, the music library is kind of sparse, at least for the North American, the game. So right now, I feel like I just bought everything by now. I don't know. But again, I'm not that far in. But yeah, it's so weird to see like Rolling Girl, right? Rolling Girl, rest in peace, right? Wawaka. Well, and that was a song conceived. That's the literal definition of like what bedroom pop actually should be. Like conceived in someone's room, very, very DIY. And again, now it's now in this big commercial game, and respected and honored, and something that like has got in a lot of waves and resonated with a lot of people. And I think that's cool. I think that's so cool. And I think this is speaking bigger to the concept of just Vocaloids in general. And it's just a tool, and it's amazing how like encouraging people to just use it in a very open source way really has spurred a lot of creativity out of it, to the point where like official media is going back and like turning back and saying like like actually incorporating a lot of like original character designs in a lot of these like Dojin music videos to actually be like not canonized. Like I know that's like a weird to say, because again, like Vocaloid canon is not like real. There isn't a real canon, right? And that's the point. It's just a flexible medium,
kind of like Toho.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a show that like encouraging stuff like that, and like encouraging you just to hop on and like not being shitheads about like copyright. Like it encourages a lot of great things. But I'm sure though, like this is music we're talking about, so I'm sure there actually is some weird shitty shit as per usual, like with music copyright, which is a horrible hell to deal with and tackle, right? That I probably don't see immediately, but like again, it's just cool to me that like they're outright acknowledging and just repurposing a lot of stuff here made made on the whims of someone's computer at home, you know, and just like, and using it to create something bigger. And that's cool to me.
I think the real copyright comes in once you have to notice whether or not an artist gets signed to, like, you know, Universal or Sony. But outside of that, like, literally every song that people will consider a classic is just the work of somebody that went ahead and just deliberately tried to piece something out with the software that they were able to pick up. And I don't know, yeah, like, I mean, I just started because shit, just like Sonic, I sure do love Miku, and both truly icons of being able to work within the means of what you're given and just still create something pretty spectacular that leaves a good impression on people.
Yeah, Miku's life.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thank you so much for running through that.
It's a game I think I'll stick with. I actually am having a good time with it.
It's good.
Oh, another cool, insane thing this game has. You can attend virtual shows, which is literally just... you get event points out of it. That's like the perk. But you literally go into like a virtual room and watch the characters perform. AKA literally and they have little story skits. It's insane. And then, you're with a bunch of other little avatars of people. It's really funny. And they always alert you like, oh, a show's going to go live. I bet if you actually like, I don't know, if you figure out a way to hook your phone to like a headset, that might actually be like interestingly immersive. But it is a little weird that like, you know, but there is like, there's 360 panoramic like controls you can turn on if you want to, but it's really funny. And then your little avatar has light sticks. You have to, the main mechanic in the virtual shows is you tapping to either just, shoot, talk or like share stamps or stickers, like in like a chat room, or wave the light sticks. And that incredible gameplay, waving light sticks. And they're just there for fun or to hang out with other users, really.
Sure, rock and roll. Well, let's answer some questions real quick, and then we can wrap this bad boy up. If you want to send in a question, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. Sound like these folks right here. We kind of talked a little bit about this, but I could maybe throw the question out to y'all. Gwenny Takey asks, what are your multiverses character deep cuts? I'm talking about the most obscure WB characters that most people wouldn't think of, at least normal people. Specifically, I'm thinking about Brack from Cartoon Planet / The Brack Show, or put Space Ghost Adult Swim era in there. Why not? Yeah, I would love to see some Space Ghost characters in there. That would be great.
That'd be fun.
I know that the voice actor for Brack and a lot of those. No, Brack's voice actor is still alive. It's C. Martin Croker passed, who was Moltar and oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. The Mantis. I have to Google it now because I don't want to look like an idiot. Zorak. Yeah, Moltar and Zorak, yeah, he passed, so I don't know if they would be in it. But yeah, I would love to see Space Ghost. That is a good cut. I don't know if do y'all have any ideas for multiverses characters that you'd want to see?
I'm trying to think. Wow.
Shit. I'm trying to think about like what would be a good deep cut. I mean, not a good deep cut. I'm here for Tony Soprano. I'm here for Roger Rabbit.
Is Roger Rabbit Warner Media? I think so. You're right.
I mean, I think it technically is Disney, but also there's some leaks that are saying they're going to have, like, I forget which Disney character in there, but...
There's some weird leaks, yeah. I have no idea what's going on with that. We'll see how it goes.
Does HBO own the Grinch? So that the Grinch leak can finally be real.
Yes, finally. It could happen.
Will we have like little dog Max with him? Like,
of course, yeah. I guess.
Yeah, he might fling him at people. That's what's gonna happen. He's just not kind to that dog at all.
A trio character of Mike, Lou, and Og.
Oh shit!
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh shit! I am seeing that Borat was just put on HBO Max. I mean, I know that I think that's technically a Disney thing, but maybe there's some sort of cross-media situation going on. Maybe we could see Borat hit the stage in multiverses.
It could happen.
The Big Bang Theory is on HBO Max. Let's get Sheldon in there. Young and old Sheldon. They can be on the same team. Yeah.
Puffy Ami Yumi would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, as a duo, perhaps. You think Robot Jones? Oh my god! Yeah, I'm just thinking of.
We can finally find out whatever happened to him.
We can finally find out what happened to Robot Jones. Whatever happened to Robot Jones?
He got summoned to Smash. That's what happened.
That's where he went.
Or multiverses, whatever you want to call it.
A bunch of the Hanna-Barbera stuff is inevitable. Scooby Gang is already represented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to think of like insane Hanna-Barbera stuff that's like
Jabberjaw, Speed Buggy.
I would love a conglomerate like mystery solving team that is just like some weird multiverse machine working wrong, and it's like the mascot character and then 5 of whatever like mystery solving game you want to like include, where it's like, oh, it's Speed Buggy hanging out with like one of the guys from Jabberjaw, hanging out with one of the guys from like the Funky Phantom. Josie and the Pussycats are there, and then it just immediately switches so that it's Captain Caveman hanging out with some of the kids from the Amazing Chan Clan, and then some of the people from... The point is that there are a bunch of these motherfuckers.
There are a bunch of them. We gotta get Hong Kong Phooey in there, figure that one out for modern day sensibilities, though. Perhaps
at the Wu-Tang Clan.
All of them, one character?
No, each of them separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that was. I'm trying to. Like the memory is blurring over. Like what was on what network and. Like oh no, that's Nickelodeon. So
everyone's buying everything.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking.
Was the original original's a weird way to say, but like the Speed Racer English like adaptation, was that on Cartoon Network at any point? I feel like it was. I might be wrong though. I'm very curious as to what in the world is the.
I feel like at
the
one
ownership
point,
situation with that.
I feel like at one point it was, and then got purchased by Viacom for Nickelodeon to then use.
Oh yeah, definitely had they had weird original Nickelodeon material with that. So I think so. It probably got tossed around, so that might be not a safe pick, but that could have been potentially fun.
All I'm saying is that if a Nick All-Stars wants to compete, Capo Mikey season 2, bring him in there.
Let's figure it out. You got to figure it out.
Come on.
There's also the little. I think that was also Cartoon. Or see, like I don't know. Like it's like, was this on Cartoon? Or there's the little Puka shorts.
Puka was like Disney. Yeah.
She would kill someone for her man. She would be vicious. Yeah. Yeah, Garu was the boy she kept fawning over and just horrible. But that would be funny.
Mm-hmm. All right, one last question here from Anonymous. Saw a grade school kid with a Danganronpa shirt at my retail job and I felt really old. You ever feel too old for a fandom? You see, here's the secret. Don't get into a fandom. Just like something.
More and more people are saying this. But
just like it. You don't have to be in a group of people who like the thing. You know, sometimes it's nice to find friends if you enjoy the same thing. But I think trying to join a fandom these days is a pretty bad idea.
Yeah, I definitely find myself in the scenario of witnessing people at least like a considerable few years younger than me get into fandom and get into just like interests, and it's like, I'm not gonna try and yuck your yums. I do not want you to feel like you can't enjoy this thing. However, when I do see a stream of somewhat like people that I follow just in general going through Danganronpa, and every other line is just like kill, 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 death, murder, maim. Oh my god, why can't this character be normal? I wish that we could have some normal characters. Oh my god, I hate this. There's only one character who's valid. It's like, dog, you enjoy this? Find God, whatever it is you do. Like, it's a game written by a guy that likes to talk about boobs and, like, dicks. That's just his MO. Similar, like, read that into most things that I'll consume where people are like, I am disappointed, and it's like, you're right to be disappointed, but also...
But also, what did you expect? Yeah.
And I mean, again, I say this as a One Piece fan, or at the very least I can say, for everything that I will actively condemn, it is also, like, the only thing I can think of that is actively saying, hey, don't trust the government. Fandom's weird, don't get involved with it. Shout out to whoever is finding something out of Five Nights at Freddy's. That is definitely something where I just feel too old to eat. The way that I describe it, where I was someone that played Roblox back when I was 10. So this is 2006. Back when, at most, it was just a Legoland ripoff that people were just, like, being able to figure out, like, how to script and how to just actually start designing from a very rudimentary standpoint. It's like I just turn around and immediately it's this towering behemoth that no one wants to recognize, both for its progress as a, like, game development tool, but also for the millions that it extorts out of children. FNAF is similar, where it's like, oh, it's the funny Chuck E. Cheese game about, like, what happened if you got eaten by Chuck E. Cheese. And then I, like, turn around one day and it's just like, who is William Afton, the man behind the slaughter? Michael, don't leave me here. Like, who I know the voice actor for that, and it's pretty funny seeing people go apeshit about that. But oh my god, it's fucked up. It's wild.
Yeah, it's also interesting.
And I say that as a former Homestuck. Like, don't get it twisted.
Oh. Well, yeah, I think, and again, there's other benchmarks as someone who has never, I was not even a twinkle in my parents' eye when Star Trek has broke the gates and pretty much defined what fandoms are to this day, and pretty much has set that precedent, right? But, like, something like Homestuck was, like, I think, honestly, controversial to say, but I'm going to say, like, Homestuck and Star Trek fandom kind of have this weird analogous thing going on where, like, there's a lot of people who feel like they grow out of it, but they're actually technically growing through it. And whenever either buzzword is mentioned, they just fall back in, which is really funny to me. Whenever something Husky or Homestuck related comes up, someone who's already, like, a grown-ass adult and who survived the Tumblr Homestuck era of, like, the decades, decades ago, right? They're able to relapse quickly and be like, listen, just jump right in, which is very interesting to me. Same with something like Star Trek, where, like, it's going through the tides of, like, people feeling very divisive about new material and, like, all the new series and stuff coming out, and, like, being like, oh, this isn't good anymore, versus people are like, no, what are you talking, innately, as much as people want to, like, say they're not, they still relapse again, and that's kind of what's scary about it, as we're all alluding to. Once you're in a fandom, you never leave. It becomes your life. And I was going to say, at least today, it seems very pervasive that, yeah, like, it really is a community now where people put a lot of work into. And again, it's very impressive where there's a lot of these fandom communities are just being run by, like, teens who, in a weird way, are learning, like, managing and organization skills through like, running Discord servers or, like, and that's awesome. And it's cool. And it's kind of funny and incredible at the same time that it's for a cause over, like, a K-pop band, or, like, but people are really going away to, like, establishing rules and trying to gatekeep the right things. And you're like, oh no, we're all, like, we don't want any adults here. We don't feel comfortable having adults here, stuff like that, or, like, setting those boundaries, and like, yeah, again, like, organizing a server and, like, organizing channel, it's so interesting, to see, and, like, that's kind of like a positive thing coming out of it, especially when it comes to being a gateway for younger people to kind of get into something or understand how to consume media, even though always it probably is not entirely healthy, right? Because you're in this bubble that's like, oh, now you don't have, you're in this bubble essentially, and then now you don't have, like, you don't get access to, or you feel defensive against, like, outside opinions in regards to the media you consume, right? And develop that fanatic mentality. That said, as I was saying, once you're in a fandom, you never leave. Like, it definitely seems like a job people, like, establish nowadays. Like, you really have to go, like, like I've heard stories of people who are like a moderator for a particular thing, like for let's say a K-pop group. They're and you're all they're dealing with like users from like different regions, like and then it's like they have to like constantly be like and they have to have like a whole moderator team just for that, like because people are in different time zones. They can't just have someone be online 24/7 making sure things don't go muck because there are fucking 1,000 members in a server. So as a moderator, you literally do have to actually do real work to moderate and not just be like, oh, I'm gonna wait, but like you don't know what's gonna happen. It's so interesting to me how like that sort like what a fandom is and being part of fandom has evolved in a way that's both. It has changed a lot to become a more demanding thing. On top of like, also it hasn't changed quite a lot. People will always be feral and horny for weird things, right?
People have to like the death of kid-focused internet spaces.
Yes. I keep saying that a lot. Like there's no. I literally check that guy a lot for some reason. Something in my body. It's not Hatsune Miku because not Hatsune Miku did not do this, but like so I for some reason felt compelled to check what's going on with a guy online the other day, and it's a totally different beast now. But it's something that does not market itself at all anymore. Like if you fucking look at their Twitter, they have no engagement whatsoever. It's constantly active every single day. But it's self-sustaining on old fans. Same with Neopets. It's self-sustaining on like people who played this, again, nostalgia, people who played this in the past and are still sticking along with it and are interested in new content from it. But neither of those websites, platforms, whatever you call it, are doing the work, I think, to get new fans, and that's interesting to me. But I agree, and on top of, what you were about to say, on top of, like, there's no, like, the in-between kids media of, like, between you and actual social media. And that is why it's scary that there's, like, just really young people on TikTok, and it's like, ooh, I don't know, dog. And they're trying, and as something like way TikTok works, it's a video-based thing. So, of course, they're going to show themselves online immediately, right?
I mean,
whereas something like whereas something like Neopets, like it's an avatar, and like there isn't something like that with those same barriers or same limitations. Again, maybe like, I think of like Roblox and Fortnite.
Yeah.
But what about people who are not gamers, right? Like there's nothing for that.
Or like currently, I'm a moderator for people who stream who are affiliated with those real-time fandoms of like Sonic and stuff. Not all of them are on that, but they're more or less like affiliated with those people. And so for me, it's like when I see, the channel for the mods where it's like all these incidents and like bans and it's like being there to witness what's going on, but also being removed in a way where it's like, I'm modding for the guy that is the most like low burner about it, where as soon as like he figures something out, he's going to go and just like drop this more or less as a side hustle. Like, it's very much like, okay, this is what you do in the interim as you're figuring your shit out. Cool, go for it. To then see other people where this is part of their income, this is what they have to do. And the way that like identity more or less creates so much parasocial interaction and also just the wild shit that goes on in Discords that I just do not even bother to check at this point. It is. It's a lot. And a lot of it is from the fact that there's somebody who's 16 and angsty and needs an outlet. And frankly, I can't relate because I kind of had a sabbatical in high school. Like,
right.
Being mostly offline in high school was probably the best thing I could have done for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it digs a lot into the bigger issue of, I think, like, and it all connects, right? Fandoms, but then that digs into the bigger issue of, like, people growing up now immediately, connected, immediately jumping online. And like you said, I think the lack of like that in between full-on social media and games is like, it is scary. And it is scary as a parent. And I told, and I definitely feel for like, and I'm someone who's a little more sympathetic over the issue of like iPad kids over, Because like, a lot, that phenomenon is happening, and I think about it, that phenomenon is happening specifically, there's definitely certainly like fucked up families that are like, oh, okay, there's a problem here. There's something going on here. These are shaping. But for sure, I think about it a lot, and that phenomenon I observed is like it tends to be like lower income families where the parents they can't constantly monitor the kids all the time, or their kids are being taken care of by like a family member who's not that, or legitimately like their parents, and only now are we kind of like transitioning now to a generation of parents that are people our age, like within our past 2 generations or a generation and a half, where they're more savvy about this stuff. But like there's still like a huge generation of parents who are like just old enough where they literally don't know what the fuck this stuff is, and they can't do anything about it. And there's, and it's true, because like our own U.S. government is very incompetent about how to handle like technological changes. We have so many old fuckers, right? Like, I think a lot about the AOC bill that failed in passing because no one knows what the fuck she was talking about. Where it was she was trying to get a bill up in regards to Twitch regulation, and that goes in that, which was trying to go in part in regards to moderation policy, all that like stuff. Like, oh, there's a lot of stuff on Twitch that's not safe for kids, and we need to hunker down on that stuff and pressure them to do better about that. But no one but her like knew what the fuck she was talking about, right?
Because then, like, the question becomes,
I know we're, like, talking about a huge thing related to this question of fandom, but stuff like fandom is that main gateway for a lot of teens, right? Like, I like K-pop. Oh, I need to find other teens who like it, as opposed to, like, a specific platform dedicated to that, right?
Alongside that as well, just the fact that, like, living in a current age where the thing I like means that it's a part of me, and if you're insulting this thing I like, then you're insulting me, so I have to be aggressively in favor of this thing, even if there are explicit flaws or things that I can criticize. Mm-hmm. We talk about media literacy, what exactly it is, what exactly, it is lacking when it comes to the way that things are seen, and I mean, it kind of is that. Fucking Morbius bombed for the 2nd time in the box office, but internationally, it's still made more than its actual production, so of course we're still getting Morbius 2. Of course we're still getting a continuation of the Sinister Six. It doesn't matter what the actual outside perspective of it is, because there is a confirmed demographic and market that'll make sure these movies are created and supplied. Us saying fuck off to Jared Leto will do well to just make sure that people understand what is and isn't there, don't get me wrong. But it's sort of like this other thing I'm seeing right now where it's like, oh, we did this. We, the people of Twitter, did. And it's like, no. Also, shut the fuck up, because you're over here talking about it's Morbin time. And now you're going to sit here complaining about, oh, man, the meme's dead. The meme's over. All right. Who asked for the meme in the first place? Watch yourself. Shout out to that kid in the Danganronpa shirt. I hope that there are some big tits in that Danganronpa shirt. It might have been just like a Komaeda. It probably was going to be Komaeda, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or like Monokuma.
No, you got to give Komaeda huge honkers. That's what we got to do.
Remember, Junko is a star on TikTok. She's the one. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
She did this. It's all her fault.
It's all her fault.
Folks, go check out Homestar Runner.
I think we could leave it at that pretty safely. All right, well, thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you want to continue to support us, we have our website, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. God, I always see .tumblr.com. We have our website, videogamechoochoo.com. We have our Twitter, @VGChoochoo, like a train sound, CHOOCHOO. We have our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. Facebook.com/videogamechoochoo. Twitch.tv/VGChoochoo. Patreon.com/VGCC. If you want to support us, it's just $3 a month, and you'll get stuff like that stars us three and Rose, Unlimited Real Works, our anime podcast, a whole week early. We're going to be recording the season wrap up and the season preview soon, as well as watching Thunderbolt Fantasy. So we got plenty of cool stuff coming up. And if you want to hang out with us, you can go to our Discord at thegamezone.zone. You type that into your web browser and it'll bring you straight there. Thank you to Melt Channel / Magic Circuit for the theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. They've got some good stuff out there for you to check out. They do. All right, so where can people find you, LV? Yeah, they can find me at LVMAEPARIN. As alluded to, we got a lot of Starlight Cars coming up. I just went feral and reached out to a bunch of folks who are went hey, your game looks cool. I want to talk with you. And they're like,
Sure, yeah, we want to talk with you. And that just happens. Harassment works. No, don't. Oh God, sorry. I'm sorry. That's a
You've
very
heard it here first from LV Maripan.
But anyway, point is, you never know what happens when you reach out to people, especially, again, like, I think, again, as often as we talk about how fucked up the industry is, like, yeah, for sure, once again, if you look at the microcosm of, like, how the independent scene works, and for sure, like, recent news have shown, no, fucked up things still happen in the independent game scene, too. But I think there is something to be said about, like, just there's a lot of kind people in a community that otherwise, I think, would have collapsed a far long time ago if not for those folks who simply just want to share work and see how it impacts people in a nice, positive way. So be on the heads up for those. I'm sure they're going to be spaced out. I think one of them has been finished editing. And I might be, hopefully we'll be doing new cover artwork for it too before that comes out as well. But stay tuned for that. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you get to listen to that before anyone else.
Maverick, how about you?
Folks can find me on Twitter at Mavsplaniamania. That's at MAVSPLANIA, where I'm just posting shit. Wrestling news came down. I made a fun George Costanza meme about it. People like it. Sometimes I get good brain ideas. Sometimes I tweet about the fucking plumber's crack that I saw in the morning. That's what life's like in the big city, baby. Give me the meatball.
Oh man, I could go for some meatballs right about now.
I have some in the freezer. I might thaw those out.
That does sound pretty good. Keep us posted.
Got you.
And of course, you can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI. That's me, John. And that will do it. We'll see you next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. So long.